treat you good.
I'm right now in sunny New York City, and I was, until a few days ago, getting myself ready to go on the road, and then out of the blue we got this news that our fearless leader had done himself some serious damage and was heading to the hospital in Munich. So I'm still in New York. The case is half packed, and unfortunately now got the news today that he's not going to be able to do anything physical for about 8 weeks, which knocks out the first part of this tour. I spoke to Bono immediately, like a few hours after he came out of the operation, but he was not making any sense. I can tell you, whatever he was on, he didn't remember any of the conversation, which is a shame because he promised me his car and various other valuables, a few paintings. But anyway, he claims not to remember that conversation. But the next day we all managed to get him on the phone, and he was really together, and you know, sounded great, even though he was clearly in shock about the implications of the injury. So it was good to hear him kind of back to himself, and we talked at length about, you know, what this meant, and we're just dealing with it now. I mean, he was in a kind of fairly intense program to be ready for the tour, so something in that preparation, maybe he just overdid it and hurt himself, maybe without realizing it, and it could have got worse. But luckily enough, he did realize at a certain point, I think when he could no longer walk, that actually he needed to go to the doctor, and thank God he did, because by the time they got to see him and did the scans, they realized that he'd actually got some fairly major damage, and had he not done anything about it, it could have actually been very serious and possibly permanent. So it was well kind of caught. I think we were very relieved to hear when we finally got the medical, you know, information that he had gone to the doctor when he did. He's really so in the moment. He was so looking forward to the tour. He's not somebody who ever really takes a look backwards or considers sort of physical you know, limitations. That those are very much of secondary importance to him. He's just about moving forward at speed. I was joking earlier on that this is probably the most rest he'll have had in decades, is the few weeks after the operation. But the other thing we have to make sure is that he does follow the doctor's orders in terms of the program of rehabilitation, because knowing him, again, he'll probably want to, you know, take some shortcuts and sort of get ahead of himself. But really, from what I understand, it's important that he really does this in a very methodical way, and so we'll be there to chain him down if need be. Though we want to stress that this is not a cancellation of this tour, it's a postponement, and we'll be back as soon as we possibly can. We will be back, and it'll be bigger and better than ever. And you know, in a weird way, it's probably good that this became evident before the tour started rather than halfway through the tour. So, you know, being philosophical about it, there's kind of some positives to the way this thing happened. I guess sometime in August we'll be doing a pre-production period somewhere in Europe to open the tour in Turin. We were working on a lot of new songs, so I'm already back at work on songwriting and working on stuff for the next U2 record. And we are intending to play some new songs live, which is something we've always planned to do and never got around to doing for various reasons. So we're really excited about the idea of playing a couple of these new tunes in front of the U2 crowd, and that'll give us a huge kind of insight into how they're working, if any changes need to be made, the arrangements, the tempos, whatever. So it's the ultimate proving ground for a tune is playing it live, and so we'll have the benefit of being able to play a few of them ahead of recording them, which is going to be great. When we do get back out there, we'll be absolutely in top condition and just raring to go. So that's our focus now.
Well, I treat you good.